all that stuff. Like, but are you planning on splurging and just buying unnecessary shit all the time with the rest of your money, like bags and purses and cars?
Yep, that's why I like watching this guy.
Like,
He's on his, he really does speak his real shit.
In relationships, tell me you don't see them spoiling a man. Really think about it. The ones who are making high levels of money, what are they doing? They're spoiling their man. That's what they're doing with their extra money. They ain't paying no bills, so they spoiling their man.
Maybe they are, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I see them spoiling themselves, but I don't see them spoiling their man. Maybe they are. I'm not saying they're not.
Well, you can buy it.
I
Exactly.
know it's both. It's both. But I guess
No, they're not. They're not spoiling their man.
when I see like a man doing something,
They're holding all that cash in case they want to dip out and break up,
like perfect example. What's her name?
or just spend it on themselves.
And Moneyback Yo. She bought this man like a track hawk, like some $200,000 truck or something like that for his birthday.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Again,
Yeah. I'm not.
they splurge on their man.
But you see, yeah, I've seen
Pressing exit out.
I've seen plenty of females like that do that, but I don't even consider them to be high value. So I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at the average woman that is earning the type of income that we're talking about. Those are the ones that I'm looking at, not these super rich folks that they obviously they're not the
Definitely.
but they might be wealthy as hell. Because to me they're like
there's no way they can compare that.
They buying freaking all these chains and all this type of stuff. They spending millions of dollars pointlessly. You got Quavo done spent how much on Sweetie on this dang on vehicle for them to break up a couple months later, or houses or whatever the heck. No, I'm not. I don't pay them folks no attention. Like that's not what we on.
But see, you know what? A lot of like you're talking about like regular folks.
Yeah.
You know why you don't see it? Because they're probably not putting it on social media.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't see it.
And if they are, they're probably not putting it. It's okay. Let me change that. If they are putting it on social media, it's not grabbing the attention to go mainstream like when a celebrity does it.
Sure.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, for example, like I saw this post the other day. It was where this girl, she just did like this really nice picnic, and she like wrote the guy a card, and she had was basically doing a video, I think it was a TikTok, of just basically just telling him just like how much she loves him and cares for him, and how much she appreciates him because he taught her things.
She's trying to make it sound very like, I don't know. She's really trying to push her point that she's right.
Average video like that wouldn't go viral, but this one did.
Yeah.
And so, because I think I saw like
especially
on
if
Shade
there was
Room or
a
something
black
like
couple.
that. And it was. So it's like it's.
Oh shit! I missed one.
You know what I'm talking about? He was like crying and everything. He like started to eat this.
I'm gonna show this.
That video. Like it's happening amongst regular folks.
Yeah.
We just don't see it because it just doesn't go as viral as it does with celebrities.
Right.
But it's happening.
Yeah.
Because we live in a day and age now. Look at it. Folks ain't broke no more. Like, not saying here or nothing, but people are making money. People are entrepreneurs. People are leveling themselves up education-wise and getting better jobs, getting high-paying jobs. People are paying their workers better because COVID showed us, like, listen, you gotta take care of your people. Like, people ain't broke no more. Women ain't broke no more.
That was something I wanted to say. You guys talk too much. I can't remember. You were hitting yourself over and over. Like, damn, did you say that 5 times already? I heard it the first time.
Yes, I did.
I used to do that. I used to do that. We heard it the first time. Let's go back and replay the video and hear it again.
Shut up.
Right? He said you talk too much.
I had something really good I wanted to say, but I forgot it now.
Yeah, I think that people just get, and that's another thing too. How you were talking about with insecurities, and I know you're not like this because I know you, but a lot of men are very insecure if it comes to a woman who does make a lot of money. That's
I'm not. The fuck?
I've never been insecure about that. Even when I was like,
I know you. Like, I know
even when I was broke, I was still sliding in Rihanna's DMs. I'm like, bro, look, I don't care how much she make.
This Veigar is really annoying.
I always say Rihanna would give a broke dude a chance, man, because she just seemed different. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I always felt like that.
Perfect example, Rihanna. She went from some Arabian billionaire to ASAP Rocky.
I know, but ASAP is still rich.
But compared
She's making a lot of money. They can definitely split their bills.
Still
so y'all can both like do nice stuff for each other.
Like,
And thinking about Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, she can one of the richest women in the world dated a teacher.
Exactly.
Whatever the
Let me
heck
join
you
my
do,
shit
you know what
too.
I'm saying? She like,
Especially if I'm earning it.
She'll never be able to really find somebody on her level like that financially. So she's like, she over here like, she probably over here. Yeah, right. She's probably over here like, oh shit, I don't care that you a teacher. Like, I got my ex-husband's money. We can just use that to pay our bills. Like, that's a different thing. You know what I'm saying?
The only other people she can go like as far as money wise, Bill Gates and any of the people on the Forbes billionaire list.
She wouldn't want the guys that are available to her. Like, no, she wouldn't want the guys that are available to her.
Because she's done it. She's lived that life. But
Yeah.
I'm just a firm believer in I don't care what level of income it is.
Yes, you do.
Whether it's 40, 50,000.
Crap, missed that one.
40, 50,000.
She's just Jeff Bezos' wife. That's all she has to do. Or all she had to do.
Level for themselves. And you are trying to come to that person.
Nah, we shut on this.
Talking about men to women. You got to be able to at least provide the livelihoods they already provide for themselves. And if you're not, you got to come with a whole lot more for her personality wise, or morally wise, or value wise, for her to
I don't know.
past especially if she is a person
Veigar.
where the man should provide for everything. My man said, so you got to come at her to make her see past that. But men get so insecure because a woman makes more than them. Again, back to the 1 of 50 when you know you're really 1 of 1. Like, I really wanted to get to know you, but you think that because I look a certain way that I got.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting wits in, but I just wanted to make sure that because I don't want to get if I accidentally get caught in Veigar's stun, if he gets lucky enough to catch me, then
Nah, sir, you make 60 and I liked you.
especially if Kha'Zix decides to start ganking.
But it is. Yeah, I want to switch this traffic on me down too. I want to switch the topic a little bit. Let's talk about as far as high value.
Yep,
like,
gotta live through that shit.
To them, in regards to women, compared to what's available.
I'm not giving you any more any ghost portal stacks. Screw that.
In this video right here, I'll post the rest of it at a later time. But y'all, I feel like it's so necessary to have these conversations on what we should really be deeming as high value in regards to both men and women. That's why this channel is called A Different Perspective. Let's think differently about this stuff, and let's try to be a little bit more fair in what we're grading as a valuable person. Because look, I was born in the 80s, and in the 90s.
All right, let's shove this, and then maybe head top.
Especially if we're talking about men. If he was taking care of house and home, if he was respected in his community, if he was respected amongst his peers, if he was respected by his wife and kids, if he was a leader, if he had a masculine frame, if he was doing right by himself and his family, if he had good character and good morals, those were the type of things that were considered high value. Back then, we wasn't going to magazines.
Let's make sure Lee Sin gets this.
To find what that measurement was.
What's he doing? Bro, you are low on health. Are you sure you want to?
This is a good person.
All right, whatever.
He's doing right by his people. It was as simple as that. So let's see if we can bring that narrative back into the mix. Because not to say that anybody is wrong, but you and I.
Oh crap! I forgot to turn off my AC.
And in the real world, the majority of people are not earning a substantial amount of income, but that doesn't make them bad people, and that doesn't mean that they're not of value. You know what I'm saying? True value, true worth. So let's keep the conversation going. Y'all know what time it is. Like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more. As always, you can follow your boy on the gram and Twitter and Artie Kicks and just
What was that?
on YouTube, Miss Murphy, and I believe on Instagram, Miss_J_Rap. It'll be linked everywhere. So yep, that's it. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. See ya.
Spinning around, yep. That's this guy all day. Oh shit. He trying to hit me. We're almost ready to kill him. Oh, he actually stayed. All right, Veigar. Unless you got Kazakhs coming. I don't see him on the map either, so that's not good. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but... Oh, shit. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to, because I didn't know where Kazakhs was. I think I waited too long, though, because he got a chance to heal up. Just a little too much. Yeah. We'll get it, though. Hold on, let me go turn off this. Oh. There we go. Okay, yeah, nah. We're gonna hunt him down. I want my revenge now.
Video. Hope you guys are having a great day.
I know I am.
I know I'm having a great day, but the person who sent in the story certainly isn't, considering it's a story about how the time they were in the woods with their friends and ended up getting hunted. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just gonna go out there and say that being stalked by some unknown predator through the woods is up there in my top 5 scary.
Pretty sure he's topside.
So as soon as I saw this story, I knew I was gonna have to share it with you guys. It's not every day we have a real Blair Life Witch Project or Blair Witch Project coming on. So I figured I would share it with you guys, and yeah, before we get into it, be sure to press the like button, or no joke, no scam, you're gonna get hunted
Sure.
by an unknown creature. That's not very swag. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the person who sent this
sounds good.
is Kevin for the rest of this video, and Kevin lived in a state in the Midwest. You know what, I'm just gonna say it. He lived in Arkansas, and I personally have never been to Arkansas, but one thing that I do know about it is that they do have these woods there that are relatively thick called the Ozarks. The only thing I know about it is that Netflix show with the money laundering, alright? But I do know that there is like this wilderness wooded area in Arkansas. And I guess Kevin was the type of guy who loved the outdoors, you know, he was always camping, always doing his best to be out there, laying underneath the stars with Bigfoot, gazing up at the beautifulness that is the cosmos. It wasn't uncommon for this dude and his friends to go camping in the woods. They had plenty of experience, and at no point
Arkansas.
felt like
Bro, I would not go camping in the woods.
they had dealt with stuff.
I've seen too many horror movies where people die because they're in the woods.
But they had never really been in a situation where they felt like they were really being threatened. They spent a bunch of time out here, it was what they did every weekend, and you know, when you do something over and over again, you tend to have a lot of confidence doing it. You tend to not be that afraid. So one weekend, him and some friends decide to hike out into
Alright, let's shove.
some camping.
Go back.
Usually do.
Either the fight will be over by the time we get there. Oh, he teleported then.
The usual sounds of the woods, you know, like just birds.
That's not good.
Moving, branches, leaves, all that stuff.
You're too black to be in. He plays that. Yes, yes. I feel that, bro.
Looking at each other, giving each other nervous looks, and finally Kevin says, "Am I the only one who thinks it's just like way too quiet?" And as soon as he says that, all of his other friends are like, "No, dude, I thought it was just me. I thought I was tripping. I knew something was off. It's so quiet. What's going on?" And so the group kind of
Alright, let me get ready to head up.
And they're kind of just trying to figure out what's going on. Is there something watching them? Is there like a predator nearby? Usually that's the type of stuff that makes the forest quiet down. If there's a mountain lion or something nearby, most stuff will be quiet because it just doesn't want to get eaten. So they're looking around, and sure enough, they can't find anything. But they still have this.
You're under the store real quick for a Red Bull. Okay.
Says it wasn't like they were being.
Alright, man. I'll see you when you get back.
It's almost like it was silent, and in a weird way, he felt like in his gut, it was the woods' way of trying to warn them. Which I know sounds pretty crazy, because like woods aren't a sentient being. They can't be giving warnings, but just the eeriness of the situation, how quiet it was, not finding anything, gave everybody the heebie-jeebies. To the point where there were originally 4 people in this group that were going to go camping. 2 of them ended up turning around. Kevin and his friend, who I'll name Tony, ended up just deciding to keep camping. They weren't afraid. The other 2, though, were just like, "I've just got a bad feeling about this. I'm getting scared." And listen, there's nothing wrong with that, bro. I feel like I would much rather have a bad feeling and leave and look like a baby than have a bad feeling and stay and something bad happen. Like, I'll take my chances. I trust my gut enough to not be that afraid of it. In terms of, like, getting pure peer pressure. You know, I'm not afraid to trust my gut, is what I'm trying to say. But Kevin and Tony, against their better judgment and their friends,
Okay, there's Kha'Zix.
they're just gonna keep camping.
I have time.
That big of a deal, it'll just pass. So they keep.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Spot that was a little bit off the
Them coming and just taking all my shit. I hate that.
Little clearing, and that's where they would usually camp. So they go there, and this time when they walk into the clearing, the stuff from the other camps they set up is there. There's a fire pit and whatnot. But this time in the fire pit, it almost looks like the charred wood is a little bit fresher than the last time they had come camping. They had used this campsite most recently about a month ago, and it looks like some of the wood in the fire pit had been burned like this morning. It was incredibly fresh. And obviously that makes them a little bit uneasy, but camping isn't illegal. That's what they're doing, so they just decide to ignore it, hope that it was just somebody that had come by once, and they start setting up their camp. And as I said, I'm not an avid outdoorsman or anything. I don't think I'm like, you know, the cream of the crop. No way in hell am I making it more than a week if I'm lost in the middle of the woods. But one thing that I do gotta say to Kevin and Tony here is, like, what were you thinking? It's crazy. If I start feeling like someone might be watching me in the woods, everything's creepy, nothing's going the way it's supposed to be going, and then I stumble upon a camp that's very clearly, like, been used recently, but no one's nearby, yeah, no thank you, dude. I'll just come camping next weekend. It's just too many creepy things in a row. One of these things on their own is already pretty creepy, but like the fact that all of it's happening together to me is a sign to get out of the woods. But whatever, I guess this dude, Tony and Kevin, are just Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, or like, well, who's the Velma and Fred that always want to split up, and it's like, why would you do that? Stay together so the scary monster can get you. So whatever, they just decide to stay in the woods. They're a little bit freaked out, but they're setting up camp. And that's when the feeling gets even worse. This feeling of just it being quiet, a little bit of an uneasiness, now becomes straight up, it feels like somebody is watching. It's still super bright out in the forest. It's not like it's nighttime, you know, they can still see. They can't see anyone looking at them, but they just can't shake this feeling that something or someone is out there staring at them. And that's a very specific feeling. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had the feeling like somebody's watching you, but like that's a very specific type of feeling that you can only like know if you felt it.
Yep.
Once you feel it, it doesn't really go away until somebody's no longer staring at you. And the longer it goes on, the more and more paranoid they're becoming because they're just feeling like something is watching them. So time is going by very slowly, but eventually it becomes dark out, and they start kind of lighting a fire and doing their thing, and they still have the feeling of being watched, but they're really hoping it's just an animal or something because it's been there all day. They weren't able to see anything staring at them. So Kevin and Tony sit down around the fire, and they start kind of telling stories back and forth, and as they're talking, telling stories back and forth, a rock flies over their heads behind their chairs and lands in the fire. And it wasn't a giant rock by any stretch of the imagination. It doesn't cause a problem. It doesn't like poof fire everywhere. But it was definitely big enough for them to know that somebody or something just threw a rock at their fire. So at that point, they're already on edge. They pop up, they take their flashlights, and they go behind them and just start shining it into the woods. And they don't see anything. There's no reflection of eyes. There's nothing. It's just dark. And at that point, they're really freaking out. They've already felt like they're being watched all day, and clearly there's something out there still watching them, and it's messing with them by, like, throwing rocks at them to make it know, like, oh, yeah, I'm here, I'm watching you, you know? So they decide to set up their chairs kind of around the fire in a way where one of them is going to be looking into that side, one of them is going to be looking into this side. So that way, if anything throws a rock or comes close, they'll see it. So they move their chairs around, and the way that this clearing is, it's like completely surrounded by trees on every side of it. So they're looking in two directions, but there's two more sides that are on the side of them that, you know, they can't really see that well. And those are the two sides that the rock didn't come from. Well, about 30 seconds later, after they move, a rock comes from one of the sides that they're not looking at and hits the fire. And here's the thing. The woods, obviously, like, it's dark, it should be pretty easy to move around without being seen. But somebody being able to run, like, 50 feet silently in the dark woods without running, bumping into anything, being seen or heard at all, and then throwing a rock, means that this person clearly has a knack for moving around the woods without being detected, which is terrifying. And it also means that it's still watching them, and it's just messing with them. So at that point, they're just freaking out. Another rock comes in, they get up, and they just decide to start packing up their camp. They're like, we're not staying here, I'm not putting up with this. And honestly, I don't blame them either. I would have been done the second I started, like, feeling like something was off in the forest, to be honest, especially when I felt like somebody was staring at me, watching me. But hey, if you want to make it to the point where creepy thing in the woods is throwing rocks at you, then to each their own, I guess. I really can't stop you. I'm just saying, I'm surprised you made it out of the woods. Alright guys, I'm gonna interrupt the video for just 1 second. On screen now is actually an Xbox gift card. For those of you that don't know, I give away a gift card in every single video here on this channel as a way to say thank you to everyone that's subscribed with those notifications on. So, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss another video. I really appreciate it. If you are already got notifications on, watches all the videos, thank you. I mucho appreciate it. Enjoy the gift card, and on that note, I'll shut up and get back to the video. Thank you. Anyways, they start packing.
It's like Veigar's starting to get killed now.
As humanly possible. They're not like making it very clean. They're not rolling stuff up nice. They're just trying to get out of there. And they're still feeling like they're being watched, but it's almost like once they start packing up, it stops throwing rocks at them. Like it stops being angry, you know. So they're like, all right, let's get out of here. They get all their backpacks together and they start making their way back to the trail. And it's about a 200-foot walk through the woods. And whereas before they haven't heard footsteps or anything, as they start walking towards the trail, suddenly they start hearing footsteps behind them, as if something's following them. And I don't know if you guys have ever been in this situation, but if you've ever been walking with a friend when you think something's about to go down and you both hear footsteps, like, you know when you don't have to say anything, you don't have to breathe a word, you both just know that you need to run. Like, you just know that something's about to tickle and not in a fun way. You just gotta sprint, just get out of there. Him and Tony just take off sprinting towards the trail, and when they do that, they hear the footsteps behind them start picking up pace. So they're just running through the woods in the dark, they're hitting branches, it's going into their face.
Damn.
Tony gets a big cut on his cheek from like a branch that just stabs him, but he just keeps running, they're just sprinting. They finally get back to the trail, the entire time hearing these footsteps on their back, probably about 15 feet back, and they both turn around and shine the light to try to like, finally, we're in a clearing, you can't hide, who's there? And when they do it, they don't see any one thing, but they're shining their lights into the trees, and they see about 15 feet back where the lights were, this thing kind of like darting from tree to tree. And the way
What the
they
fuck?
described it is like, it looks like a human, but like a naked human in the woods in the middle of the night. And so they're kind of watching it, and they just decide to get out of there. So they just start sprinting down the trail, and they had hiked maybe a mile or two down. So they're running a mile or two, and as they're doing this, they're hearing whatever is following them in the tree line to their left, about 15 feet in, just running alongside of them.
Oh, they didn't need
Now
me.
it's making noises, almost like it's trying to like communicate with other stuff out here. And the noises that it's making are pretty like animalistic. It wasn't human noises or anything, but they're just sprinting. They don't want to try to figure out what it's trying to talk to. They don't want to try to figure out what it is. They're just dipping. So as they're sprinting, they're kind of not saying anything to each other. They're hearing all these noises around them, but one thing that keeps going through Kevin's mind is that like, I don't want to die in the woods. I don't want to die in the woods. Like, out of every way to go, getting killed by a psychopath in the woods is up there among the absolute worst. Two young lovers going camping, a man with a hook for a hand. Like, it's just literally one of the most stereotypical ways to go of all time. And here he is being chased by something through the woods. So they're obviously being hunted. This thing has been stalking them all day. It was just like waiting till nightfall, I guess. That's horrifying. But finally, they start getting to the point where they can see the cars. And when they can see the cars in civilization, the road that the trail was on was relatively busy, so there was cars every minute or so. All of a sudden, whatever is following them stops. It's like the creature, whatever the hell had been following them, kind of knew that like they were back to the car, they were back to civilization, and its chance to strike was kind of gone now. Because they heard it kind of stop in the tree line and then start to move in deeper. It stopped going from like 15 feet into the tree line to like 20, 25, and kind of move back into the woods. And they're not stopping to try to figure out what's going on. They don't want to figure out where it's going. They don't know if it's going to get back up, if it's going to get a crossbow. They have no clue. So they keep sprinting to the car. They get in the car, they get in, they lock it, they get it going. They haven't said anything to each other. And then they just peel out. And for probably 20 minutes driving back towards the town, neither one of them says a single word. It is just dead silent in that car. And finally, as they're kind of getting back home, they just decided they were going to both crash at Kevin's house. Tony looks at him and he goes, "What the hell was that?" And they kind of look at each other and they finally start talking about it. And they're like, "Dude, I swear to God, that was like a naked person. But not, you know, a normal person. Dead ass." They said it kind of looked like Gollum. Like a mini thing kind of running between the trees, following them, throwing rocks at them. And it would make sense if it was like a really tiny creature, bro. Because I don't know if I really believe in everything. If it was like a 7-foot Bigfoot that was jacked and could just rip your head off your body, it probably wouldn't have been like tossing rocks at you in general. If it was some Gollum-looking thing, like, it doesn't like its odds. I feel like I could beat the out of Gollum. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to say that I would. If Gollum came at me and tried to take my ring, I would simply pick him up and punt him. I would punt him like Adam Vinatieri, bro. Pat McAfee, it'd be over. Sure enough, they're kind of talking and discussing it, and whatever it was, some little humanoid thing had been like following them, watching them all day, and then had hunted them out of the woods at night when they were trying to escape. I think the real lucky thing about this is when it started making noises trying to communicate with something that they didn't stick around to find out, bro. One golem I can take, like 9 golems at one time all jumping me. It's over.
9 golems.
It's just GG. Either way, though, to this day, they don't really know what they saw. They talked to their friends and stuff about it, and everybody thought that they were messing with them, trying to make it up, to try to look cooler because they went home and wanted to make them, like, feel bad. But it really did happen. He swears it happened. I got no reason to not believe him. And either way, it's a pretty good story. Being hunted by tiny humanoid creatures in the middle of Arkansas is a good story. Anyways, though, guys, I think that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really, really appreciate you taking a quick second to press the like button and comment down below. If you don't know what to comment down below, just comment the word woods down there. It really, really helps the video do better in the algorithm, gets me more views, and you know, I like views, who doesn't? Other than that, if you really want to help out the channel, you can use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout, the best energy drink for gamers. And if you use my name in the code, ladies and gentlemen, you get a discount, I get something, everyone's a winner, we can all high five and dance with some G Fuel. And last but certainly not least, check out my podcast, The Scuffcast, in the description, and get yourself some of this fantastic merch that's on screen now. I mean, oh my god, look at it. Look at this and tell me any golem-like creature would ever want to hunt you if you were wearing such beautiful clothing. Realistically, though, guys, big thank you to everyone that subscribes and watches all the videos. You make my life dream come true, whatever, you know, the dream come true, make my life passion. I don't know the words I'm looking for. You guys know what I'm trying to say. And I really appreciate it. On that note, though, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.
They're fighting again. Not bad in the CS. Jax has more though. I would still like to go Baron. And come up. Yeah, bruh. We've been getting these kills, man. Playing all the team fights, securing everything, yo. You better not. He better not. Ooh. How about we get Baron, please? That's game. Oh, they changed it.